Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I dug out the fine linens for this one. We're going to do a little bit of a show and tell on this video. I figure we'll mix it up a little bit from the normal kind of repair videos. And a lot of people in my past videos keep asking about different stuff that I use, and it seems like the same comments kind of come up over and over again. So I figure I'm going to start doing a sort of videos that kind of feature certain stuff that I use. None of this is sponsored in any way. This is just the stuff that I have and stuff that I prefer to use and stuff that I'd like. So without further ado, we'll start jumping forward. And the first thing I want to get into is probably vice grips. Everybody uses vice grips. Everybody pretty much knows what they are. They come in all different types of flavors. There's the most common one that everybody uses, and then after that you start going for let me go for a pair of needle nose vice grips. They have their own area that they help, and then sometimes these are too big, so you have a little pair, and those are also kind of good when you're four-wheeling to throw in your pocket, so you have something. But those are not the guys I want to talk about. There's another pair of vice grips. These guys. These are, I'm not sure what they market them towards, but for me, for doing mock-up and assembly, I find these to be invaluable. Is that the word we're looking for? They are W12C, I think, is the number that's on them. We'll see if we can find it. I probably inverted that totally. 12LC is the number that's on them. They come in a couple of different styles. This is the original one. I got some later on, and they came with this protective jacket that's on here. I would say I prefer not having this on. I find it gets in the way of the thumb wheel. Kind of cumbersome. I bet you if that probably just pushes right off, and the regular vice grips are right underneath it. But I do prefer it set up like this rather than this. What these are good for is, like I said, welding. If you try to mock something up and hold pieces together, they have the capacity of the jaw having a lot of room to get further in on something and grab it, instead of trying to do it with a regular pair of vice grips. So if you have a piece of like angle iron, you're trying to clear the angle iron and you get something behind it you want to clamp, they work very well. Here's an example right here. You got a round pipe and a piece of square stock. You want to kind of set them up together, whether you're going to drill it, weld it, tack it, just hold it there temporarily. The way they're set up, it gives you plenty of room to reach from far away and put your clamping force down on it. And the clamping force stays, whether it's the jaws closed together or they're open real wide, they pretty much almost stay parallel to each other. So it helps keep them level. And you can say, well, why don't you just use the regular welding clamps like this? These work okay. The problem is because they have the swivels on them, unless you're working with two like pieces of flat sheet metal together, when you're trying to use these two pieces are very stable together. When you try using these, it rocks very easy because of those pivots. And it's just not as stable as far as that motion, and kind of wants to roll off the two pads. So that's why I favor those. The other thing that's good about these too is the profile that they are. Generally, when you're welding something, you're kind of working around other stuff. The amount of room they take to get into that location, is probably half of what that guy is. So if you're trying to squeeze in between two things, this goes straight up and this is going straight up. This, you can kind of get that duckbill and sneak it right in. That's probably the first of the lot we're going to go show. As I said, I have 4 of these. I probably use these for metal fabrication more than any other clamp that I have in my assortment. And they're not terribly expensive. I don't think they're over 20 bucks a piece. And they're definitely well worth the investment on those. So that's good from that guy. Let's go move on to something else. The next thing I figured I'd talk about is dealing with small screws. Not so much trying to remove a small screw, but to put something back together that can be down in a recess or whatnot, that it's just not that accessible and you're trying to do it from far away. For example, we'll grab a regular screw and guys ever dealt with like points and condenser, and you're trying to put them back together in a distributor, you always try and take your finger like that, and you're trying to hold the screw from falling off, and you get down inside there and the sucker pops off and falls down in between. You're trying to chase it, and you're doing that a couple of times. Well, they make holders for that, so I figured I'd just show a couple of them and what they are. First one's going to be a Proto. It is part number 9853. What this has on one end is set up for a regular screw, and on the other end is a magnet. So even if you drop the screw down inside the distributor or wherever you're working, you can kind of go grab that piece and bring it back up. Or even if you're removing it and it's still kind of stuck down there in the hole, you can kind of grab it with the magnet. But the money shot on this guy is the other end. What it has is a cam built into the center of the head, and if you rotate this and lock it, you can see there's a locating pin on it. The center will turn sideways and grab the center of the screw. I'll pop it and I'll show you what I mean. See how it pops? So I'll reset it, put a regular screw in it. The outer two edges, the outer two sides are fixed, and then the middle just rotates it and locks it into a cam. And they're pretty tough too. It'll hold the weight of the tool and the screw and everything, and it'll get down in there really nice. And if you actually push, if you're doing a bunch of the same thing, if you push hard and return it, it'll lock the cam on itself again, and it's already ready for the next screw to go ahead. You'll hear it pop back again. So if you're doing a bunch of them, you just keep on going. After that guy would be the same thing, but it has instead of a magnet on one side, it's got set up for a Phillips and a regular. And the part number on that one is the Proto 9866. And this one's good. The one side is exactly the same as what you just saw, but instead of having the magnet, it has one set up for a Phillips. This one is okay. It works. But the problem with this one is it's set up the same way as the other one, but they just tapered the two sides of it, and it will work on a regular screw too. But it's kind of only good for larger screws. If you try using a tiny one on there, it doesn't have the capacity of grabbing it. But I mean, it'll hold the screw. It'll do kind of what it's supposed to do. So that's that guy. And the third one I'm going to have to go show you is an Ullman Devices, and the part number on that one is just G2. And what that one has is set up for a Phillips also, but it works on a little bit different principle. It just has a collar that kind of, when you pull it down, it expands. But what it does is it's grabbing on 4 points instead of 2. So we'll get a Phillips screw and we'll stick that one back in there. And now it grabs it from 4 points instead of 2. And the other one has a tendency to want to rock and lean over at some point, where this one doesn't. Again, it's pretty strong. So I just want to show you those three. Again, they're probably under 10 bucks a piece, but you know, the one time that you use them will definitely save your sanity. The next thing I want to get into is tie-down straps. You guys all dealt with, everybody pretty much has a set of these floating around somewhere in their yard, and the two primary types is one is a ratchet and one is just a static pull type strap. We'll start with the static one first. It has a tab that you push down, and you tension it by pulling the material and then letting go of the button, or you could even just pull on it, and then when you need to release it, you hit the button and let go of it. And what they have is a set of teeth on the inside of them, down inside here, that kind of bite onto the strap and where you need it. These are okay. The problem I find with these is you can't get that much power behind them. Basically, whatever you're able to pull on the strap, say if you're able to pull down 100 pounds, you're probably getting 50 pounds of it because of the drag that is built into this. You got to remember that the second half doubles over on itself. So you're trying to pull this direction, and then it tries to turn direction and come back. So it's got a lot of drag right in this part, but they work. Next one, yeah, this one's everybody's favorite, ain't it? Is the ratchet one. These are these is definitely have a mixed opinion about these. The way these work is you got a cam in the center of it that can ratchet up probably about 12 inches of material is about what you're able to spool up on the center of it, max it out, and then it'll just start to hyperextend itself. But these are kind of a two-handed job as far as how you need to go about operating them. They have a ratchet part of it. This is actually in the wrong section, but You can ratchet up on your material. It'll draw your material in right there, and you can get a nice down pressure on these. You probably get about 200 pounds pull probably on this, and or even more. The biggest kind of a pain in the ass with these is trying to release them, and the way they're set up to do that, you got to make it so that it's all the way back, and what that does is it allows this cam to be pushed out of the way of the ratchet. I'll show you what I mean. See how it's down. Like if right now you try releasing it, nothing's going to happen because this paw is still being held. So you have to get it so that this is straight, and sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes this is going to hit whatever you have locked down in the way, but then you still have to come and release this guy, and when that does that, it kind of releases with a bit of a bang. The other problem with these are they kind of have a tendency to twist on themselves, and you're ratcheting it, you're not paying attention to what you're doing, and before you know it, you ratchet the knot up inside there, and it gets kind of crossed up on itself. Or you're throwing it over a vehicle and it's twisted. It'll twist on itself when you're trying to tie down. So they work, they're okay, but I have something that I like to use better than either one of those, and I figure I'd show you those. What they are is, here's the package to start with. They're rope ratchets, and they are kind of a cross between the two of them. I think they kind of take the best of both worlds of what each one has to offer. And for those who want to kind of freeze and look at what's on the back of it, it has the simplicity of just being able to pull through like the second one does. The second one, when you use it, whatever size you kind of, the first one, wherever size you want to go use, you can just pull and make it the length, and it locks itself down behind it. And then the first one has a ratchet that is going around in a circle. So here's what these guys are right here, and they have a pulley on the inside of them that you're able to pull, and it clicks into place and it will hold itself. So you can kind of get a really good pull, and because it's not just dragging around a corner, it's actually rolling around a corner. Whatever power you put on it, you can kind of get out of it. It's not, you're not losing any energy across it. And to release it, if you just grab the rope, and you can release the paw, and you can let it either go back slow, or if you let it go, you can just hit the brake and it'll release itself too. I like these a lot. I've had a set for probably 12 years, and here is that original set. These are beat up and rough and been left out in the weather at the back of my truck. I actually just leave them to the tie downs in my truck. Now you can see that this one is showing its age, but it works on the same principle. It used to have a knob right here that you could actually kind of dial it through to. They omitted that in the later ones. I have a feeling that they found that it just wasn't necessary, and apparently it fails anyway, because it was pretty soon that this knob broke off after using it. But the rest of it has held up quite well, and it's, again, still the same idea. You still have that same paw to go and release. It'll ratchet and then hold back, and it's a ratchet. It's not like it's just on some kind of drag, and then release it. It's the same thing. What I like about the original ones, the ones you're looking at here, the rope on this one really doesn't stretch much. So if you're tying down a motorcycle in the back of a truck or something, wherever length you kind of put it at, it kind of stays. The new one right here, the other thing I find is the rope is a little bit on the elastic side. It kind of stretches a little bit, and if you have, like, say, a real heavy motorcycle you tie down, I find that it still kind of moves a little bit from side to side due to the flex that's in the rope. And that may go away as this gets older and these get used a little bit more. They may just kind of stretch out to their final dimension and stay there. But I highly recommend these. They are not terribly expensive. They come in 3 different sizes. I believe I want to say it's either 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch. 3/8 and then a 1/2 inch, and these are good for what they say 250, and then I forget what the bigger ones are set for. I don't know if they advertise on the back for them or not. But again, all the stuff you can get on eBay and readily available. But try a set of those. I think you really like them. once you get used to them. And the other part that's nice about them too is like, ever see how this stuff gets knots in itself? Well, a rope is a lot easier to try to untangle than when this stuff turns into a ball and gets into a knot. So, hey guys, so that's it. Just wanted to try making a video of some of the stuff that is common to use, that really takes care of some of the headaches in life and just makes things a little bit easier to work on, and items that are cheap, you know, stuff that you can put on your Christmas or birthday list or something, and see if it'll make your life just a little bit more bearable when you're working out in the garage. If you guys want, you can, if you have items that you like to use, and I want to keep it on the cheap end, say like, you know, 20-30 bucks under that, and want to share, put it your little comments or links down below. YouTube has a tendency to kick that stuff out, so I'll just have to go in the spam folder and put it back in, and maybe we'll make a little collection of sharing and have a conversation down below some of the other stuff that you guys like too, and possibly even make a video in the future of those items that we deem worthy to share with everybody else, I guess. And if you like this one, let me know, and I'll do more of the same. And you know, I'm not going to not do the repair videos, but I only want to put them up when I have something worthwhile saying or showing. So it's a slow moment, so I figured I'd do a video like this. All right, guys, later. Thanks for watching. And 10-mile drive in the snow. Kind of see the side of the truck, how much salt gets on it. And what happens to the underneath of them. See how the moisture barrier is kind of making, see the grease is making and keeping the water away, kind of beads up off of it. That's kind of what helps us as far as stopping the rust. If not, the underneath of the frame will look the same way.